I removed the headliner from my truck and I want to recover it, but I find that it's completely disintegrated in some places and it's very delicate and there's little of anything that I can glue new fabric to. It's coming apart. It's thin as a piece of toilet paper in some spots. And I don't know if I can find another one for this C6500. And if I go to the junkyard and try to pull one out, it might be in just as bad a condition. So I think what I'm going to do is use some of this resin I already have to paint a coat of resin on it and stiffen it up in a couple spots and see if I can repair it and reuse it. Before I finish peeling the fabric off the other side, I'm going to set it up here to where I think it's in its original shape. And I'm going to put a thin coat on the back side and maybe a little bit of fiberglass material where there's pieces missing. I got this stuff at Lowe's. It was a lot less expensive than some of the epoxy resins I've used. And I have these mixing cups. I like these mixing cups. Once they're dried out, you can flake out the used stuff and reuse them. And they have marks on the side. Here's a 4-ounce mark right here. You get 10 drops of hardener per ounce. If I filled it up to 4 ounces, that'd be 40 drops. I'm going to mix that up and I'm going to pour it out on the back of the headliner. It's kind of cold in my garage today, about 55 degrees, so this will probably be a little thick and probably take a little bit longer to cure than it otherwise would. You can brush this on a surface like that with one of those disposable chip brushes about 2 or 3 inches wide. That would work good. I don't think I have any left, so I'm just going to trowel it around with this little trowel. I like to scrape the side as I stir, make sure I get it all thoroughly mixed. It says working time 10 to 15 minutes, but I find you get a little bit longer than that. And then after about 2 hours, if it was maybe 75 degrees out, 2 hours would be fully dry, you could sand it and paint it. A little brown color after it's been sitting in the can for a year. It's got a little bit of a tint to it. It's more of a golden color when it was brand new. And I don't know if this is the right way to repair this headliner board or not, but this is what I'm going to try. I don't want to have to go buy another one. I just want to use the materials I have on hand and come up with something that will work. I have this cloth, which is a biaxial cloth. It has fiber strands going in one direction and strands going in the other direction. It's really durable stuff, but this is probably overkill for the strength I need here. I have a whole roll of this fiberglass that has the strands all going in one direction. I have a whole roll of it. I never used it, and so I'm going to use some scraps of this to fill in any gaps that are missing where there's no material left on the headboard at all. And if I look right down into the material I'm working with here, it looks like it was a fiberglass cloth to start with. I can see the threads crisscrossing in the material there. Well, it's soaking it right in. I just wouldn't want to put this all on and have it harden up and be the wrong shape. So I like to have several of these containers available. So when I've emptied one, I can just don't have to wait for it to cure to clean it out or anything. I can just go on to the next container. Keep on working. That really soaked in quite a bit on that first 4 ounces. So this one I'm going to mix up twice as much. I'm going to mix up 8 ounces on this one. See if I can finish coating the rest of the whole liner. Where I've already got some resin, it doesn't soak in as much. But where it's totally dry, it just almost soaks in almost instantly. You can keep applying this resin, this thing would become as stiff as a surfboard, but I really don't want to do that. I just want it to not fall apart when I put the material on there. Now if this fiberglass were wet all the way through, it would turn kind of clear. I'm not really going for anything boat-like here. Not worried about it sinking. I'm not even really that worried about how it looks. I just want it to not fall apart. Now let it dry. I think that's going to be acceptable. Could have done a better job, of course, but it was a little sloppy there. I didn't really soak this fiberglass in all the way. A couple spots here, like where this corner is missing. I think that won't matter. I also have the foam there. Here it was disintegrated pretty bad. I think this is going to hold it together. I'll have something to attach the material to. A little bit of a missing piece of material there. I think I'll just leave the foam there and carefully attach the visor there so that it covers that up. 2 hours later and it's still soft and sticky, and that's because it's 45 degrees in my shop today and it may just never cure at that temperature. So what I do is I just warm it up with a heat gun and it'll harden right up. proceed with pulling off the rest of this material. In some areas, like right here, there would have been nothing left except for the fiberglass shell that we made. So, if it wasn't for that fiberglass, this would have been completely disintegrated and gone. But now I think I have something I can work with. And I don't have to hunt around and try to find a replacement. Use what I got.